Yeah. Could anyone volunteer and quickly introduce themselves, like by stating your name, from which part of the globe you are attending the session, and if you are from IT background, yeah, let me know your experience. And if not, non-IT background also, please let me. Yeah, Roma,
Yeah.
please go.
Hi, Rahul. I'll start by myself. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I have like around 6 years of manual testing experience, and I have done bit of like API testing, end-to-end testing, system integration testing, and prior to that, I was working as a database developer, and I
Mhm.
am looking forward to switch myself to automation. The way things are going in, I just want to update myself.
Great,
That's
great.
all from my side. Yeah.
Thanks, Roma. Yes.
Hi, I am
Hi
Satyanarayana.
everyone, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let me go myself. Myself,
Yeah.
Yuvraj. I'm having 4.5 years experience in
Mm-hmm.
IT. I'm working as a test engineer in manual web application testing. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to shift my career into automation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason I'm joining this course. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
from Bangalore. I'm working in Bangalore.
Okay. Okay. Great.
I am Satyanarayana from Visakhapatnam.
Okay.
I'm working as a manual test engineer
Mm-hmm.
in Geetham Engineering Institute.
Okay.
I want to upgrade my skills to automation test engineer.
Okay.
That's the reason why I joined.
Great. Great.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. I have my name is myself Kumar Shankar. Basically, I have 3 years of experience in the manual and database and API testing.
Mm.
Okay, API automation testing.
Mm.
I will be learn for the web automation testing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's about me. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is
Hi, I'm
Okay.
go
Wonderful.
ahead.
okay. Hi, my name is Rishabh Das. I am from Kolkata. I have 3 years of experience in IT. I am working as a manual and automation tester as well. But here I came to upskill my automation skills. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Aarti.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm looking for a job and I want to upgrade my skills in the automation because mostly in our company they are asking for automation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I joined this class. Might be for the mobile automation or the web.
Mm. Great.
Hi, I'm Priyanka. I'm from USA and I had 1 year experience in manual testing long time before. Now I want to I'm looking for a job, so I want to upgrade myself in automation testing. That's
Okay.
all from.
Hi, I'm Sridevi Grandi. I am from the USA. I don't have any previous experience. I beginner of the learning, so that's
Okay.
all about me.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yes. Last two.
If it will be like automation testing, so it will be error free and time saving.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Out
Yeah.
of 100 test cases, if we have anything that we need to do repeatedly,
Points are absolutely right. Where we save time, save efforts, and redundant activities will be done by the script, and you will be as a manual tester, you will be focusing on the creative part of the testing. What do you mean by creative part of the testing is exploring more scenarios, finding more defects, expanding the range of your testing, what which cannot be done by automation testing. So parallelly activities will be completed. The moment the script execution is done, you can focus your uh, activities on something else. Got it? This makes us as a testers more creative. So if you see this image, what can we infer again? For a person who has implemented only
Work.
Okay.
Avoid repetition, like retesting and regression testing, and it's like quite tiresome to do manually test the test data. So if it will be like automation testing, so it will be error free and time saving.
Okay, great.
Out of 100 test cases, if we have anything that we need to do repeatedly, we go to automation. That which happens in very less time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So all your answers are accepted. So with respect to why automation testing is important, all your points are absolutely right. Where we save time, save efforts, and redundant activities will be done by the script, and you will be as a manual tester, you will be focusing on the creative part of the testing. What do you mean by creative part of the testing is exploring more scenarios, finding more defects, expanding the range of your testing, which cannot be done by automation testing. So parallelly activities will be completed. The moment the script execution is done, you can focus your activities on something else. Got it? This makes us as a testers more creative. So if you see this image, what can we infer again? For a person who has implemented only manual testing in his project versus a person who has included both manual and automation in his project. What do you feel like? Does the same points that you have said is applicable still here also? Where the manual team is spending a lot of time on documentations, testing, updating the sheets. Because for every manual tester, you have to update your evidences, you have to share the evidence documents to the stakeholders, right? Like why this test case is failing, why this test case is passing. Yes or no? Along with the Excel report, marking them pass or fail. I hope these are your regular activities that you follow, right? Yes or no?
Yes, right.
The same thing. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Yeah. So automation is like once you integrate automation testing into your picture, if you want to relax, like let's take it on how we slack our work. If you want to relax for an hour or so, automation testing does all the hard work. It will give you all the reports in a creative, in a most attractive way, and you can just share this reports to the stakeholders, stating that hey, these are your execution report from the previous release, from the current release, and the release that you have done in the last production deployment. So these are the kind of reports you want to continue the execution or not. Clear?
Yes.
That is the power of automation. Whereas with manual testing, you need to maintain a repository of Word documents for the previous release, for the current release, for the new release, or something like that. Okay, Priyanka, I'll go a little slower. Now is it clear for you, Priyanka? Now my voice is very slow and clear for you. Great. So let me rephrase my point again. As if you are implementing only manual testing in the current days of the project, where the timelines of the project are not so huge, like 5 years or 4 years or something. The maximum timeline you get for any project is 2 to 3 years. And implementing only manual testing will be a very difficult approach in compared to the software, into the current needs of the software, because you need to have a lot of documentation ready, a lot of test case files, a lot of documentation, a lot of reporting, a lot of bug tracking, triaging, linking. You have to do a lot of activities. Whereas when you start including automation testing in your regular activities, what will happen? The redundant activities like testing the smoke regularly, doing the regression regularly, sharing the reports, generating the reports, and maintaining a stack of reports in the repository as per the release wise will be done by the automation team. Manual team will take care of the triage book calls. If there is any bug attached to the failed test cases, they will check only these kind of activities. So indirectly, automation is not replacing anyone. We are here to enhance the testing process. We are here to help the testers grow quickly. We are helping the testers find defects quickly. Got it? Is this clear, everyone?
Yes.
Now, what are the advantages of automation testing? Reliability. What do you mean by reliability? They perform the same set of operations again and again each time they are run. So what we are saying that each time they are running means Running means what? Suppose if I ask you to do a login for 100 users, it will do this. It will log into the application for all the 100 users in the same manner. It will not even make a single mistake. Whatever operations you have designed and you have set it, it will do the same operation again and again without any human error. Repeatability. For suppose if you want to make a payment of around 10,000 transactions for the same account, you will understand how the software is reacting under repeated execution of the same operation. What do you mean by comprehensiveness? The automation testing helps us cover each and every feature of your application. So we can build a suite of test cases that covers each and every feature of the application. Reusability. What do you mean by reusability? Suppose if we have run the code on some X release, now tomorrow the application has rolled back the release to the previous one because there are some issues. So we run the same script again and again to check how the scripts are behaving on different kinds of releases. So the stakeholders from the company side will be like, hey, can you share the test results when I run the code on the previous release, on the current release, on the release that has been given in the last prod? So I want to run the test cases and check how the application is working. Can you share the reports? Yes, from that standpoint of view, automation supports reusability. When it comes to speed, it's fast. The moment you walk around and come back, the suit execution be completed. It's that fast compared to manual process. Programmability provides the ability to program sophisticated tests that brings out hidden information from the application. That means what? In one of my previous projects, I found that the animation of the login screen is taking around 10 seconds to 15 seconds to load, whereas the SLA for the animation is around 7 seconds. What happened through automation? The animation has taken around 15 seconds. So since it has taken more time than expected, so what has happened? I couldn't enter my credentials properly. Since I couldn't enter the credentials properly, I have raised this defect with the development team. Later on, what they found out was the network protocol routing and network mechanism is something that is very bad. So they had to restructure the whole networking concepts and networking protocols so that the application works properly. So these kind of hidden information, we can get it from the application. The more and more we automate, we bring out a lot of hidden issues. Sometimes what happens is manually everything works fine. I totally understand. But what happens is that when I run a payment module for multiple accounts at a time, what is happening? Payment services fluctuating up and down. The CPU usage or suddenly the API of the payment gateway is suddenly fluctuating up and down. So when you do for a single account, you might not get it. But when in automation testing, when you run multiple times, or when you perform actions on the same application in multiple browsers, you might get this kind of issues. So that is what is called as programmability. And make a note of all these 2 points. These are the 2 points that every project manager is liking it these days. Better quality software, cost reduction. So always remember, from a project management perspective, always they believe that testing is something that is overhead for them. They always like to spend huge money on development, but they don't like to spend on huge money on testing team. But they know that without testing, we cannot certify the product. So they always feel that, hey, these guys are not doing something technical and not contributing something. So what this project managers found out, hey, this automation is something interesting because I'm able to run more test cases in less time with reduced team size. When the activities are happening with reduced team size, obviously the cost spent on the testing team will be reduced. So that is why automation testing is gaining a lot of popularity. And always remember, project management are the one who decides the budget of your salary of your projects or something like that. Clear? I hope all the points are clear. What are the advantages of automation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can communicate in the chat box also if you have not speak. So this is why automation testing is gaining a lot of importance from a application point of view, from a money standpoint of view. And also another advantage is when I say resource optimization. So imagine that developers are giving you a release on a nightly basis. And as humans, we are not interested to wake up in the midnight and do a smoke test execution. That is where automation testing will come into picture, and it does all the redundant activities like executing the smoke daily after the build is deployed. It will do all the activities by itself. When I say wider test coverage, I've iterated this point at the start. That means what? Once the automation scripts cover all the complex scenarios, then the scope for manual tester increases. Okay, he can expand his range of testing. He can do a lot of border scenarios. He can do a lot of exploratory testing, some ad hoc testing, and find more test cases, more defects that needs to be covered in the automation testing. When I say effective test management, suppose I have automated the whole test cases for project A. Now I got project B, which is similar to the same project A, but with minor changes. So I need not develop the test cases from scratch. I can reuse the same scripts into that another project where I can save a lot of time and efforts. Clear? And accuracy, greater precision and lower errors than manual testing. This accuracy matters when we are doing the same set of operations again and again. And this is a sample graph for you. And this graph is subjected to change. Like I've just taken a generalized graph. Like if you want to do a full regression suite of 1,000 test cases, you need to have 160 man hours. The regression testing includes you need to capture the evidences, you need to prepare a very detailed report, a step by step, and you need to share the results to them. And you need to prepare a consolidated report and you have to share it to the QA team and all. Got it? So in this case, 160 man hours is required to do a regression of complete 1,000 test cases. Whereas when you implement automation testing for all the 1,000 test cases, at least it will take 16 hours. That means it will take around 1 day to finish because we do a lot of parallel execution when we do in automation testing. Similarly, for partial regression, for sanity, for smoke, the more and more implement automation testing, that is better for you as a tester. It will save a lot of time, a lot of effort for you. I hope my points are clear so far to everyone.
Yes, Rahul.
Any confusions, any doubts, you can ask me at any point of time.
So when you mention like a full regression 1000 here, the blue line, for that is the 160, it's going to take it's hours from
160 man hours. When you say 160 man hours, if suppose 20 resources are working in the same project and they work 8 hours a day, right? So that is called 20 into 8. That is 160 man hours, are they?
And with automation only takes 16?
16 man hours. We are saying not 160 hours, man hours. Why we say man hours means whenever from a project management point of view, they will say how many man hours has been consumed per month. They will not say how many hours you have spent. Man hours, like in your team, there are 5 resources and they are spending 8 hours a day. So for them, it's 40 man hours per day. 40 man hours into 22. That means around 800, 850 man hours per month. Got it?
Okay.
Yes, Uma. Yes, Uma, you have any doubts? Okay. So can I go ahead, guys?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So top 5 lessons on test automation. These are some things that no one will tell you when you start your career with test automation. First thing, don't automate a mess. If you're not clear with the business flow, if you're not clear with something, ask, understand, get the things completed. If you're not able to understand something about the framework, ask, understand, and do it. Don't create a mess of the automation script. Have a clarity of the business, have a clarity of the framework that you're working on. Second thing, avoid complex logic in your scripts. Always when we write automation testing, focus on the business part of the scripting part. Don't try to mix up with a lot of complicated stuff in your scripting. Don't mandate 100% automation. So 100% automation is not at all possible. When you are doing any UI testing or something like that, 100% is not possible because we cannot do any captcha automation. We cannot do any image processing related stuff. We cannot automate SMS. We cannot automate the audio and video playlists. Got it? We cannot do barcode, fingerprint recognition, iris scan, and all those things cannot be automated. That is why 100% automation is not possible. The max to max you can automate for a web automation is 80%, 80 to 85%. That too, if you have the skilled resources in your team. Clear? Beware of automation testers who don't understand the fundamentals of testing. Like if they don't know what is move, what is regression, what is sprint, and all. So they are the tough ones to deal with because they don't know what is sprint and all that. And if they don't know what is a sprint, they'll not understand what are your deadlines for you to finish your automation scripting and all. If they don't know what is smoke and regression, if they don't know how to classify the test cases as per smoke and regression, then it's a problem. Because for the people who lack knowledge on testing, for them it will be like, okay, smoke and regression is the same thing. Clear?
Yeah, is the point number avoid the complex of logic in your script? Can you explain it deeply?
Avoid complex logic of automation scripts. Means suppose if your test case is to just log in, you have to write the script for login. You should not write the script like whether the image is coming or not, whether this in the footer copyrights is coming or not. We don't need all kind of unnecessary stuff. If your business states only for login, focus on login.
It's mean only for the positive testing will do in automation.
Sorry?
In automation is only for the positive testing will do.
Negative testing also you can do, but focus on the business. If it's a negative scenario, focus on passing invalid credentials only. Focus on the test steps that is given for the test case. That is what I'm trying to say. Yes, Roma, tell me.
Hi, Rahul. I have one question. Like for automation, I don't have much knowledge about it, and I know it's more for a web. And this in the past, I worked on some legacy systems for testing, for integration testing. So automation, is it possible on these legacy systems?
Unless and until it's a web application, it will work.
It will work. Okay. All right.
So I have not yet come to the course plan. Once we discuss the course plan, you'll understand clearly.
Rahul, sorry, I have a question here. So I am currently facing this web application issue on one of my application. That is a legacy application, and it is IE only, and it opens in IE 7 compatibility mode. Is there a possibility to automate this through Selenium?
Well, you have to go back to Selenium 3.14 or 3, something like that, and you have to do it.
Yeah.
And second thing
Yeah,
is,
the challenge is my organization framework is now on Selenium 4 and it is mandatory to use Selenium 4. So we have automated it on 3.1 earlier, but now as we move to 4, we are not able
it will not
to.
support. It will not support 4 who doesn't support in IE. You have to use 3.14 and have to use the old Selenium concepts. And please downgrade your JDK to 8 only. Don't go beyond 8. Okay? Because if you go beyond 8 and Selenium 3.4 is not that compatible with the latest versions of Java. So have this configuration of JDK 8 and Selenium 3.14. And IE is dead, first of all. First of all, Internet Explorer is dead. So
Yeah,
then you
but
have to
you cannot change that. Yeah, you cannot
I
change that.
understand
You
Siddhi,
must
but
be knowing it.
I understand Siddhi, but only in some remote machines they have some backup of Internet Explorer. It's working, but down the line, when you are agreeing for a contract extension, we have to clearly state that you have to continue working on Edge only, because Internet Explorer, the Microsoft team is only not supporting. Just imagine the vendor is only
I
not
know that.
supporting.
I
Who are
know. I
we?
raised the ticket with vendor. I actually went through lots of calls for 6 months and they could not come up with any solution because IE for locator identification, we had to use IE chooser and
Not
that became
really,
a
Siddhi.
big
Not
mess.
really. I also worked with IE Selenium 3.14 in 6 years back. There was not much of a challenge with locator. I will tell you, I mean, when we come to automation, I'll tell you
Of
what
course, yeah. Okay.
what
Okay,
challenges.
perfect.
Right now, it's too early for me to explain also. Okay.
Yes, yes, sure. Thank
So
you.
don't upgrade to Selenium 4, keep it to Selenium 3.14 only. Selenium 4 doesn't work well with IE.
But that is organization-wide mandate, so we cannot change
I'm
anything
just
there.
giving you the
I
information.
got it. I got it. I got it. Like I can pass this information to my management, and they can take the call whether they want to stick with it or they want to provide us with an exception. That would be their call.
Yeah, our life is just to advise them whether they want to do, don't want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. The fifth point is test automation is a software development process. Like how developers develop their framework, we also develop a lot of things by ourselves. The sad part is we are only the developer, we are only the tester. And some of the organizations I know they'll expect automation like a Harry Potter magic wand. Like within a snap, the framework should be ready. Within another snap, the test cases should be ready. How many of you face this situation in your companies?
Yeah, usually for testing, they give us only 1 day time.
Yes.
They'll ask like, yeah, it is done within an hour.
Yeah, like a Harry Potter magic wand until.
Yes.
So we have to educate them that, hey boss, how much time you give for development? At least we need half of the time for building the automation scripts at start. Once the framework is set up, established, and everything is fine, then our job will be finding the locators and writing the script as per the components. So we have to educate them. Now, anyways, all the managers are mature enough, they'll be giving some time, but there are some legacy managers where they say like, hey, you know automation, right? Automation is just like a magic wand. Do it. So if you see this graph, initially, like this was a story I would like to share 4 years back when I wanted to start automation for a project. The management had a shift. We had a shift in management. So the management was like, hey, why are you spending too much time on automation, man? Manual is taking less efforts. That's what the story till bill number 3. They're saying like, hey, manual team is taking less time. You guys are taking more time to fix the test cases and all. Fine. We continued automation because our role was automation testing and management invested in it. We are doing automation testing. But what happened as the release has progressed? What happened? The project which was functioning with 5 resources now turned out to be that the project is functioning with around 25 resources. And they added more people for other projects because they have the expertise of how to deal with this production based issues and they want to release the application, go live so that they wanted their expertise. So their man hours also included in the current project. They added more people so that they want to finish the testing properly. But the fact they have realized is for every new member that has been added into the project, I have to give a KT for them. I have to explain the business and everything has to happen. But in the meantime, initially it feels like automation testing will take a lot of time. But eventually or sometime we are consuming the same amount of time for automation testing. So the more you need not add additional team members from manual testing. So the existing manual team can focus on expanding the business knowledge, expanding the scenarios. They can be a part of grooming sessions. They can be part of this trial sessions. They can be part of some experience related session, like how you handle the production related issues and all the stuff. You got the point? Initially, management will be like automation is a time consuming activity, but if you want to see the results of automation testing, you have to spend the long run. You got the point? Why I'm saying this point is that you should be in a position to tell your management that automation is not a magic wand, but at the end of the production, when your application is going live, you will see the magic wand of automation testing. Got it?
Yeah.
So this diagram is very important. And before we jump into the original, the course of automation testing, I wanted to explain you what are the advantages, what are the rules to be followed, and we have to educate you that this is not a magic wand. This takes a process to build it. If anyone says that it will be built in a couple of seconds or minutes, don't believe them. Great. I hope everyone is able to see. So the first and foremost step for any automation thing is programming language. So first, we will understand what are the topics we are covering in Java. the core Java basics like the variable declaration, string functions, string builder, string buffer, why strings are immutable, conditional statements, looping statements, while, do, while, for loop, for each, constructors, method declarations, switch, enums. We'll be discussing all these points in the first core Java concepts. Followed by, we'll be discussing about arrays, 1D array, 2D array, 3D array, where arrays are used at best, where arrays are used, not used, list, set, map, dequeue, sequence collections, queues, and more. We will be discussing all these things in arrays and collections. Then we'll be discussing the concept of inheritance. What is a super keyword? What is a disk keyword? What is an interface? What are the different types of interface? What is simple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance? We'll be discussing all these topics. We'll be discussing all these topics to you guys. Clear? So we discuss lambda, streams, and Lombok expressions because these days, anyone, any framework, anyone, if you go for the interview, lambda, stream, Lombok expressions are something that is becoming a mandatory now. Great. Is it great so far? Then we discuss about file operations, like how do we write the data to the file, reading the data from the file, copying files from one location to another location, different file functions, and all these things, right? Then we discuss about exception handling, what is try catch block, finally block, multiple catch blocks with one try block, compile time versus runtime, handling the errors at the runtime, ducking an exception, rethrowing an exception, dethroning an exception. We'll be discussing all these three terminologies because in the interview, they will not ask you in a direct way. They will ask you with this Java terminology. We might have used it knowingly or unknowingly, but we have to be very clear of this terminology. So I'll be explaining all these terminologies in ducking. Clear? Then we'll be covering some concepts of generics. Why? Because these days, one of my friend has attended the interview in the banking company. So they were asking, how will you use generics in collections? She remembered the syntax properly, but in that, what is generics, they didn't understand. So for that reason, what I've decided is like, hey, we should also know generics. Why generics is used in a collection? Why not without generics? What will happen? So for all these things, what I've decided is let's cover generics also because this is very important from a Java perspective, and you should also know how this type safety is maintained. And records and optionals are something that is gaining more popularity in these days because in order to avoid null pointer exceptions, we use the concept of optionals. If you want to create an immutable class, we go with the concept of records. And the concept of sealed inheritance and interfaces is that you want to do inheritance, but only so-and-so classes are allowed to participate in inheritance. The rest of the classes are not allowed to participate in inheritance. So if you want to do these kind of scenarios, these are part of JDK 17 concepts. So we'll be discussing all these things because the more amount of Java we know, the better the framework will be. The lesser the Java knowledge of Java, the lesser the design of the framework will not look that good. More the knowledge of Java, the better the framework design. Lesser the knowledge of Java, the worse the framework design. And also for each and every topic, we provide some practice questions and also we will be providing some interview questions. So the interview questions will not be conceptual wise, but after covering some concepts, we'll be giving you the mix of questions. Like what are the popularly asked questions like easy, medium, difficult. So we have some question bank. So once you finish the homework of what we have provided on a daily basis, then we will provide you with another set of questions of what kind of questions will be asked in interview, like for a loop or for a collections, for a strings or for arrays. What kind of questions can be asked? The anticipatory questions we will share with you. Yes, Siddhi, go ahead. Siddhi?
Sorry, I was talking on mute. I'm so sorry. Rahul, I have a question here. Will we be discussing these questions that you would be providing us? Like, if you have any doubts in any of the questions?
You can discuss in the next class, or if you are hesitant to discuss in the class, you can ping me on my personal number, or you can drop a message in the group. I will see and I will reply it immediately.
Will there be a WhatsApp group of all the participants
Once
that
the
will be?
enrollment is
Okay.
completed, there will be a separate WhatsApp group, and you can post your questions in the group. Or else, if you are hesitant to post a question in the group, you can DM me. Or else, if you can wait till next class, you can discuss in the next class also. Because for every class, we have a 5-minute doubt clearing session.
Okay.
5 to 10-minute
Got
doubt
it.
clearing session.
And
Thank you.
Rahul, for how long this course will be?
This will be around 45 to 50 hours. You can say 2 to 2.5 months, because we don't take classes on Saturday, Sunday. We take classes on Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday every day.
Yeah,
Okay.
Monday to Friday every day, same time, 8 to 9 a.m. IST.
All right. Thank you.
And the class can be extended a bit also, because if you are covering some concept which requires more in-depth knowledge, so we will be extending our time a bit by 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm just giving you heads up.
All right.
Yeah, Roma.
Yeah, thank you. That was my question.
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm
Yeah,
Shiva.
sure.
Now, one thing I observed was nowadays for automation, they ask us to write the programs, right?
Yes, yes.
So, will you teach us which are the important ones, how to write the logic?
That is why I'm sharing a lot of questions to you. That is why I'm sharing a lot of questions to you for each and every Java topic. See, the thing is, I have a bank of questions. It's your job to practice. You come up with doubts, and you let me know, because the documents are shared over the cloud. Since they are shared over the cloud, the questions will keep on updating, because there are a lot of my previous students or friends who are attending the interviews. They'll keep on sharing the questions what they ask in other companies. So I'll also have a lot of testing community network where I'll be getting a list of questions what they ask in automation testing. So if you keep on practicing, I'll give you a lot of questions. Don't worry.
Okay. And one more question I have is, you cover BBD, right? With BBD when you develop the
To start Selenium, don't worry. This is not the end of the road. This is only till Java. Please give me some time for Selenium, okay?
Oh, right.
Yeah, Prachi, yeah. If you want, you can drop. You can go through the recording. And tomorrow also we'll have one more session. Yeah. Go through the recording, Prachi. Okay. So since everyone is clear with the Java concepts, can we go ahead with the next set of concepts, guys? Next set of discussion.
Yes, please.
Just give me a moment.
Rahul, you have any contacts in US consultancy who can place us?
I have a lot of I have some connects, but they're not reliable. So that is why it's better not to recommend.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with Selenium. So what are the basic concepts of Selenium we are starting with? So we'll understand what is Maven, what is adding dependencies to Maven traffic, what are the advantages of Maven, what is Maven profiling, how do we trigger test cases through Maven, what is the concept of properties file. Then we'll be discussing the architecture of Selenium. Any tool that you pick in the market, the first and foremost thing is to understand the architecture of the tool, how the Selenium tool works in version 3 and version 4. And some person mentioned, right, that they are working with IE Edge 7 as a legacy application. So you need to understand how the Selenium 3 architecture works and Selenium 4 architecture works. Got it? And how do we launch the different ways of launching the applications via different browsers? How do we launch the application via Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Safari? Then we will discuss how do we create a new tab, creating a new window, how do we launch multiple windows and tabs, How do we switch between windows and tabs? What is the difference between driver.quit versus driver.close? And how do you launch tabs via JavaScript commands? Then what are the different types of locators we are covering? ID, name, class name, link text, partial link text, tag name, XPath, and CSS selector. So whatever I have highlighted in red color, that means those two locators are super important. That means what? Even if you don't know how to find by ID, name, class name, link text, partial link text, tag name, that is completely fine. But if you don't know how to find the element by XPath or CSS selector, then that is a major problem. That is why I highlighted in red color. Then we'll be discussing about related locators: two above, straight above, two below, straight below, two right off, straight right off, two left off, straight right off. We'll be discussing all the Selenium 4 locators that are available in the latest, till the latest Selenium release. So what are the different kinds of Selenium actions we're discussing? Click, send keys via chord, select, get text, finding multiple elements, get DOM attribute, get DOM property, is displayed, is hidden, get CSS value, get tag name, get area role. Get area role is done for accessibility testing. I don't know how many of you have heard the word accessibility testing, but that is something that is gaining prominence. So we'll be covering a bit of accessibility testing with the help of Selenium. How do we handle web tables and grids? So what are the different kinds of weights we can have? Implicit weight, explicit weight, fluent weight, the custom weight. How do we customize our weight commands? Then we'll be discussing actions class, click, double click, send keys, the different actions in send keys. Again, this functions might have upgraded also. We'll be discussing all the upgraded functions and actions like that. Then we will be discussing the JavaScript actions like scrolling pages, generating alerts, refreshing the pages, sending keys, clicking on element, click. Clear?
Yes.
So frames and screenshots, like capturing browser screenshot, capturing element screenshot, capturing screenshot using A-shot and Monte recorder, these are outdated because in the latest versions of some tools, we can do a video recording and capturing screenshot using capturing the complete browser screenshot. So in the latest versions, like it's been hardly 10 days, we got some latest updates in the Selenium WebDriver. So we'll be discussing all those things. Got it? How do we handle frames? By.name, by.id, by.element, and all those things. And what are the other topics? Shadow frames, upload and download of files, Chrome options, Firefox options, Edge options, desired capabilities when we are working with Selenium Grid, kill existing browsers via command line. How do we handle sliders, browser-related pop-ups? There are some situations like when you get a pop-up, especially when you're working with Azure DevOps, you'll be getting a pop-up at the top. You have to enter the username and password in the pop-up. So those are called as browser authentication pop-ups. How many of you have seen this kind of browser authentication pop-ups? Yeah. How many of you have seen this browser?
Yes. Yes, I've seen a lot.
So how do you automate it using this browser authentication and all? We will be discussing all these things. So
Will we talk about robot class or?
I'll tell you one thing about robot class. Robot class works well in Windows, not in Mac and Linux. Remember that.
And I think robot also has a lot of problems when we are running our scripts on Jenkins.
So you build your use cases with robot. I will give you the alternate functions of it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And second thing, Siddhi, in your cases, since you're using Selenium 4, don't go with so much text paths. Once I explain related locators, you'll understand that you need, in some of the cases, if you are unable to scan the web page with the help of related locators, it makes your life more simpler.
Yes, I actually found out that we are implementing a different way now for XPaths also. Like in XPaths, we are using a different methodology. Maybe I'll take your suggestion also, and then we will see.
Yeah, in different methodology means I would just like to know.
With the name, like if on that page that specific name is existing, so we take that.
Acha, that's a
I'm
generic.
forgetting.
That's a generic.
Yeah. No, not the generic. I'll probably tell you tomorrow. Like right now, it's 11:30 for me. My brain is not working.
Okay.
It's night,
Okay,
midnight for me.
fine. Just share me that comment.
Yes, I will. I will share that.
Yeah, so that
I'll
it's
share.
beneficial for everyone. If it's something cool, then
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. But I'll definitely look forward to your suggestions too.
sure. Thank you. So these are the different Selenium concepts we are covering here. And the next topic is test engine BDD Cucumber. So we'll be starting with the test ng concepts. How do we write test cases, annotations in test ng? How do we create dependency between methods, parameterization, test ng attributes, soft and hard assertions, event firing decorators, parallel testing, and grouping of test cases. These are the concepts we'll be covering. And we'll be seeing the data provided via the hard-coded data, Excel, CSV, and JSON. And we'll be covering some important listeners like iTest listeners, annotation listener, execution listener, iSort listener, all these things. Got it? iSort listener, execution listeners, all these things. Clear? Yes, we'll be working on during this course tenure. Once we finish the test ng concepts, you'll be learning how to design a data-driven framework from scratch. Like we'll be spending a 1 week, 10 days to design a framework with some sample website, and you will use all this knowledge in your office. Cannot hear Siddhimans. Rishabh is able to hear, so check your audio settings. Siddhi.
Yeah, I'm able to hear.
Then we'll be discussing about Cucumber. How do we create a new feature file, scenario and scenario outline, data tables, runner files, preparing the scenario name based on the tags, Pico container, Cucumber annotations, background, step definitions, hook class. And also I'll be teaching you in Cucumber this fantastic thing that if the feature file, for suppose you don't know, for people who don't know feature file, so if you want to write the test steps in French language, if you want to write the test steps in German language, if you want to write the test steps in Bahasa language, that's Indonesian, because one of my client requirements was like, hey, I'm from Chinese, dude. I'm from Chinese. So if you can give me something, my test steps in Chinese language, that would be great. So we can also help those kind of requirements because BDD is something where there is a lot of involvement from the stakeholders and the investors also. So they'll be seeing all the steps. So they might not be comfortable in English. So we'll also see how do we automate them in different speaking languages. Yes. Wait. You will see all those contents, don't worry. Okay. Then Cucumber with JUnit. How do we prepare the runner file? How do we integrate JUnit with Cucumber? So JUnit is something that is most popularly used. That is why I'm explaining it. But personally, if you want to take my recommendation seriously, Cucumber with TestNG is something that is more popular, more flexible to use, and we can play around a lot. Runner file, different concepts for TestNG and Cucumber, integration of extend reports with runner file, generating fail screenshots. We can do a lot of things with TestNG compared to JUnit. And for API testing, we'll be covering the put, post, get, delete, all the different HTTP methods. So let me skip this API testing part for now. I have a separate slides and contents. I will showcase what are the contents I'm discussing there. So adding POI libraries dependencies, writing the data to the file, updating data to the file, reading the data from the file, Excel operations for data provider, cell styles for Excel formatting, because in the latest version of Excel POI, there's 2-3 new functions for updating the cells. So we will be discussing all these things. In the properties file, we'll be seeing how do we add Apache Commons library, reading the values from the properties file. How do we create a master slave mechanism using the properties file? How do we use the properties file in a real time? And how do we generate the extend reports? And how do we generate earlier reports? Why our Cucumber is outdated now? Officially, earlier team has decided that earlier reports with Cucumber is an outdated practice. Earlier reports with TestNG is the latest practice. And also, we are also planning to discuss chain test reports. We are planning to discuss extend, allure, and chain test reports. So you can understand how the different reporting mechanisms work. And we are planning to cover data-driven framework, BDD approach, and hybrid framework. Linear and modular is something you will learn when we discuss the Selenium concepts. So linear framework is nothing but a framework which does not have any utilities or something like that. It's like you directly write the code. There is no utilities or nothing like that. That is called as a linear framework. What do you mean by modular framework? Means whatever code you're writing it in a form of a module. So you will understand linear and modular framework when we discuss the Selenium concepts and TestNG concept. Once we go into the actual framework, we'll be discussing data-driven framework, BDD approach with a hybrid pattern. We'll be discussing all these things. Keyword-driven is something where I'll be recording some sessions because keyword-driven is one of the most outdated approach, and this is something that is used in robot framework also. What we can plan is like one weekend I will take some session on keyword-driven framework, how it works or something like that. One Saturday we will spend on the keyword-driven framework to understand how it works. That is not popularly used, but I can explain you because once we know how do we work with keyword-driven framework, data-driven framework is very simple. So I'll give you a brief understanding of how the different frameworks will work. Got it? Any doubts so far?
All good, Rahul.
Very good. Thank you.
I saw in the syllabus you have like to install the database. Will you be teaching like database testing, like how?
Great. I'm not in started with database. I'm opening the database slides.
Oh, okay.
Till I say it is done, just hold on. Because incorporating everything in one slide will be like a chaos. That is why I separated topic wise. So what is Git? What is the purpose of Git? These days, without a Git, no one will even consider your profile. So you need to have a proper GitHub profile. So what is the difference between Git and GitHub? What are the different tools that support Git apart from GitHub? Performing Git commands via CMD. What are the main commands that you need to know from Git? How do we perform the Git commands via IntelliJ? Like if you do, without using any Git commands, if you have the IntelliJ tool with the GUI interface that IntelliJ provides, we can perform all the Git commands. Then we'll be covering some SQL concepts, SSMS installation, SQL Server installation, Oracle. So for the people who are working with Windows, I prefer SSMS. For the people who are working with Mac, I will explain SQL Server installation. Both of them have the same setup, same style, and the commands are also same. The SQL query commands are almost same. So between all the three different database vendors, the SQL commands remains the same. 95% of the commands remain the same. 5% only there will be slight syntax changes. That's fine. What are the different CRUD operations we discussed? Create, update, delete, and read. And we'll be covering different SQL commands. So they will not ask you what is a select query and all. They will ask you what is data definition language. What is DML, data manipulation language, DQL, data query language. So select comes under the data query language. Update comes under the data manipulation language. DCL is the transact and rollback comes under this DCL language. Data definition languages like create table, create database, and all this stuff. So we'll be understanding all these things in detail. So if you explain in the interview at least one line of these things, they will be having a belief that, hey, you know something about database. Because these days we have to go at the database level and check whether the records are inserted properly or not. So for that, you should be in a position to write your own queries. That is a minimum expectation that will. The developers will tell you which table where the data falls and all. You can have a look at it. But if you ask me to write a complicated query, developers will also not have some time. So we are here to assist you with some queries. How do you get kick started with it and all this stuff. Yes, anyone has any doubt? Abhishek?
But does this automation, the Oracle queries which you're talking about, will that be having anything to do with the automation which you're doing now?
Well, what we do with any database is there are two ways to look at database. One is If you want to search for any record in the UI, you interact with the database. That is what we use with the help of JDBC. We connect to the database, we fetch the data from the DB, and we put it in the application. One thing. The second thing is, if you want to maintain a results of your execution, we maintain it in a database. Like every release, if you want to maintain the executions, how many times we have executed the test case, which iteration the test case is passed, fail, and all these things. If you want to maintain the clear-cut data, we maintain the results in the database along with the HTML link of the report. So there are two main purposes of the database. Got it, Vijay?
Okay, got you.
And if in any case, if you want to generate some invoices or any billing or something, you need to update the data in the database. Like you have to update it to current date, the bill generation date to next date, something like that. So you need to have knowledge on update query and the select queries also. If you are coming from banking domain, tolling domain, payment domain, or something like that.
Okay, okay. Thanks.
Yes, Vijay. Yes, Sidhi, go ahead.
Rahul, will we be discussing how to test the SSIS packages?
SSIS comes under Power BI. We are not discussing Power BI.
No, it comes under ETL testing also.
I mean, I've used it in Power BI most of the time. That's the reason.
Okay, I'm using it under ETL testing, so we are not covering that part.
No. The database concepts that are covering is only applicable for how do you help yourself write your own queries. That is the only part.
But just the integration part.
Just the integration with Java code and what are the basic queries, how do you need to know and all the stuff. If time permits, if you all are interested, I can teach you the views, the width, the row by partition. We can discuss all these things. But again, it's the interest of everyone.
Yeah, or we can have maybe an optional weekend class if you have some time and whoever wants to attend.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Because all this comments, what I'm discussing, it will be useful for you, Siddhi. Like in ETL testing, basically what is ETL stands for? Transformation of data from one database to another database. That is what Informatica does for you, right?
Correct, like transform and load. So
yeah, transform
that is
load.
there. Correct.
Yeah, transform load. So from one database to another database. So I have been part of the data migration testing also. So with that experience, I can give you some knowledge on that, where I have transferred around 2 TB of data from one database to another database. We have to write some data migration scripting.
Okay, I think maybe I can discuss with you separately, not on this call. I have a very different use case that
Yes,
I'm
yes.
automating right now. So maybe I'll connect separately. Thank you.
So when we come to Jenkins, we need to understand what is CI/CD all about. What is CI? What is CD? We will understand these terminologies at a later point of time. Developers integrate their code into a shared repository, VM. So we'll be discussing this CI/CD in detail. So we'll be discussing Docker now. AWS, I'll have to check the costing there because EC2 is a bit cheaper compared to Lambda and AWS. So I'll be checking the costing part and I'll get back to you. We'll be also discussing how do you prepare your own Docker image and how do you execute on the command line. So if someone asks you why Docker, why not Jenkins, or why Jenkins, why not Docker, I'll give you all the use cases list. You can explain to your team members. Clear? Now do we build a pipeline, setup of Jenkins tool, download and setup of plugins related to the build, configure the build via Git repository, trigger the pipelines and observe the logs. All these activities, how can we do it? We will be seeing soon. And also we'll be covering the JDBC for all these tools because the logic for any database remains the same. The only thing is what kind of drivers you need to initialize is all that matters. That's it. The code for connecting to any database is same. The only thing is the connectivity URL, which driver you have to use at that particular point of time. Only those things will change. The rest of the things are same. So for people who are new to it's an API in Java that allows you to connect and interact with databases. It provides methods for querying and updating data in a database using SQL commands. Clear? Is this clear, everyone? And if you all are interested, again, this topic, if you all are interested, if you want to learn some non-relational database, again, it's an optional session, you can have it. Like MongoDB is a non-relational database. So if you want to learn some quick tips about MongoDB, you can learn it, but that's an optional session. Clear? I hope my points are clear so far.
Yes, Rahul.
And Rahul, will you help us in like giving instructions to install Selenium,
Yes,
IntelliJ, or
everything
like
step by step will be there.
step?
Just today is the course introduction and stuff. That is why I'm not discussed about that. Tomorrow onwards, we'll be working with the tools installation.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, rest assured is also a part. So I'm discussing about the Postman in the API testing. First thing we will be covering is Postman testing. Got it? So what is Postman? What are the different API calls? What is LDECG variables, scripting test cases, data-driven testing? Yes, you will be getting a recording after the class, Priyanka. But you need to spend 5 more minutes. I'll be finishing the course contents in 5 minutes. Okay. Only API testing part is pending. I'll discuss those things. Vishaka, are we covering AI and automation? So what kind of expectation you want? Because I'm planning to cover the self-healing concept. Like helium, I'm just trying to do an experiment in helium. You can use the helium, or you can create a concept of self-healing locators in this in AI. That is one thing. Second thing is, what kind of AI are you expecting from automation? Because you can use GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot will give you all that facilities. But for using GitHub Copilot also, we need to be strong in automation testing. Got the point? I hope I have answered your question, Vishaka. So how do we script test cases, data-driven testing, Newman reporting and all? So why Postman? It's a popular API tool and development tool that allows you to easily send. And foremost thing is that 20 plus million users are using this tool. That is why Postman is used a lot. And two goals I want to set for API testing with respect to Postman. It is not about hitting the API calls and checking the response. It's more than that. Second thing, scripting the test cases, running the test cases using the data-driven approach, running the code with the DevOps tools. These are the two goals I want to set it for Postman. What are the different HTTP methods we are discussing? And we'll be seeing different examples for each and every API call and its importance in the real-time scenario. So we'll be discussing what are the different variables that we use in Postman, LDECG. We'll be discussing all these things in detail. We'll be giving a small assignment. Like one more thing I wanted to tell you, that after every 10 classes, you'll be having a small breakout session within the class, so that where you need to solve all these assignments in the class as a team, not as an individual, as a team. Got it? Sorry, now the screen is visible.
Yes.
So every 10 classes you'll have an assignment, and every alternate Saturday we have a DSA sessions. I'll be sharing the timings on the schedule. So that's the open session. We have had 3-4 classes so far. So every session we'll be covering some sorting or searching algorithms, followed by some interview questions, what they ask in the programming, like which is not the regular questions, some tricky questions like rotating the array, find that product of two distinct sums in the integers, in a integer, so an array of integers. So those concepts we'll be discussing in this DSA session. So we'll be discussing what is the basics of JS, chai.js, validating JSON schema, setting the values to the collection environment and data variables, passing the values to the next request. How do we perform data-driven testing using JSON and CSV files? We'll be trying to perform OAuth 1.0 is outdated, so we'll be trying to cover OAuth 2, basic digest and OAuth 2. How do we run the scripts via Postman scripts via CLI model, collection runner? How do we use Newman reports? How do we post the Postman collections to the GitHub? Got it?
Rahul, using Postman, the API testing is completely manual, right? I mean, we can't do the automation, right?
Well, we can do automation. There's a concept of pre-scripting and post-scripting. So with that, we can do a lot of automation. And this collection runners and all help us in running the test cases in a collection pattern. So with the Postman also, we can generate a CSV report, HTML report, Allure report, a decorative HTML report. We can do a lot of things.
Okay.
Rahul, we can also run this through our Selenium code, like if we have a framework built. So we can run Postman scripts through that as well.
Like, see, if you want to run your Postman scripts, you have to run it any Jenkins or any Docker image. If you want to call via Selenium also, that is for rest assured. If you want to use Java, that is rest assured. If you want to run Postman scripts as a standalone, that is different. Okay.
Right. Got it. Yeah. Yes.
So that is rest assured. When you want to automate your APIs, that is rest assured.
So
rest assured is a popular open source Java-based automation framework used for testing RESTful services. REST, RESTful. What is the difference between REST and RESTful? We'll be discussing a lot in API testing. In API testing, you have a lot of terminologies to understand. So just do not be hesitated. Do not be worried at what are these terminologies. REST assured allows testers to write test cases in a BDD style, making it easy to read and maintain. So these are the benefits of rest assured. It can be integrated with CI/CD pipelines, supports for various HTTP methods, write test cases quickly, reducing time and effort. So why we need API automation testing? We all know that to save time and effort. So we'll be covering the BDD approach of writing the test cases, non-BDD approach of writing the test scripts, query parameter, path parameter, form parameter, and different headers, JSON and XML file parsing, Pojo consoles for preparing the JSON body, updating the file, uploading the files using the rest assured. We'll be discussing more use cases, more scenarios with respect to rest assured and JSON schema validations. And we'll be seeing how do we generate the reports, how do we run this test cases using Jenkins and Docker, how do we generate earlier reports, and we'll also be covering a bit of SOAP UI, like how do we automate SOAP UI and all the stuff for the legacy users, and how do we automate OAuth 2.0 related scenarios. Clear?
Is the rest assured is an open source?
Yes,
I don't think so.
Whatever tools I'm discussing is open source, nothing is paid.
Okay.
So these are the contents I'll be covering. There are a lot of contents to cover, so we'll be covering each and every content as detailed as possible. So from tomorrow onwards only the original core, the regular classes will start with tools installations and all. So tomorrow we'll be discussing what tools to install. How do you get started with it? Any doubts so far? If you have any doubts, the floor is yours to get your doubts clarified.
Rahul, I have a question. Will we have a structured calendar on which day which topic would be covered?
Well, that is not a good practice because sometimes we might cover a topic an extended time, but it might take more than the usual time. Sometimes I might cover small topics quickly. So it depends again. So what we generally do is we share a Excel tracker to you guys. What is this Excel tracker? Let me show you. That's for happening for the current batch. So we don't share upfront what we are covering. So you see day wise we update. Once you are enrolled, we'll be sharing all this, like what are the topics we are covering on the day. At the max, you will get to know what topic I'm discussing the next day. Because going with a proper plan is a very bad idea as trainers because we need to be flexible as per the requirements. Sometimes you might come with more doubts, so we have to spend more time on these doubts also, right?
So we will be having access to this Excel sheet?
Yes, once you are enrolled into the course, we'll be sharing an Excel sheet like this, where we discuss day-wise, what is the day-wise, what are the assignments we are giving, and any visual diagrams that we have for Git or something like that. All the visual diagrams, all the visual flows will be shared here, all the assignments will be shared here. And every day, whatever we are discussing, we will have a track of it. You will have a track of it. So which day what we are covered, like just before taking this session, you will see here 10-6 combination of 2D arrays, something. You will be seeing everything here. So this is a proof of what kind of assignments we share and all. So everything is in one place. Once they finish all the Java concepts, then I'll be adding the interview-based questions for each and every topic, because interview-based questions is not something like they'll ask at a topic level, right? They will mix as a combination of things. So that is the reason. So this is how we share one Excel sheet to you guys. You'll have a consolidated programming questions and a consolidated interview-based questions. So this sheet keeps on updating. So you have to look at the sheet. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that is the thing.
question from me. This is Svetan, yeah. This might be something out of the content, but I just want to know that nowadays calls are getting with Salesforce testing along with Selenium. Sales itself is an automating self tool, and what's the purpose of using Selenium for that? Any idea about it?
Well, the purpose of using Salesforce is that Salesforce is more of a CRM based tool. Remember that. When you say it's automating, it's like a it's like a product only. Like how we have Facebook, Instagram. It's also Salesforce is also like a CRM product. First thing. Second thing is Salesforce is used for sales management, HR related activities and all. So the thing that we use in Salesforce application is we are testing whether the data is generated properly or not, whether the ads that we are running is being established properly or not, all the business rules are well set or not. So these are the kinds of things that we do with the Salesforce application. And why we use automation there is that, so I want to create ads at different times. So with the help of a Selenium script, I can write a script, and with the help of the Jenkins, I can trigger the build in such a way that I can run the campaigns, I can run the ads at different times. And if I want to maintain a reconciliation of data, we can use the Selenium scripts to do it.
Okay. So I'm trying to build my profile with Selenium as well as with the Salesforce. So how it will be useful for me in the projects? Like
may I know from which part of the globe you are?
I'm from Hyderabad.
Hyderabad ones don't even try for Salesforce. Go for banking, payments, and all those stuff, because banking, payments, healthcare, and transportation, these are the 4 leading places. And Salesforce, I hardly see less companies, and you get it in MNCs only. Salesforce-based testing applications. Even some people will ask you ServiceNow automation-based testing also. So the same thing. Very few companies use it because it's a proprietary. It's not a open source. It's a proprietary tool, and you have to pay for it. Got it?
Okay, yeah.
Make sense?
Yes, got it.
Yeah, next.
Will you upload the videos and
You'll be
videos will
part of the group. You'll be getting the recordings after a while. After the class is completed, within 3-4 hours, you'll get the recordings.
all the notes also will be there, right? Like
yeah, in the group that you're part of.
Okay. And just one more question I have. We will get any sample resumes?
Sample resume means, I'll tell you one thing. If you go with the resume that I follow, you'll definitely be selected, because my resume doesn't follow any ATS score. My resume is very creative. I can give you some ChatGPT prompts how to modify your existing resume. Okay.
Okay. So when the resumes will be given, like later or?
At the end of the course, I can give you some ChatGPT prompts where you can modify your resume. But if you ask me how I design my resume, I use a lot of graphic designing tools. I ensure that it's a look and feel. So my resume, if you put it under ATS score, it will not work. But for HR, the moment they see my resume, they'll immediately like it. So I don't follow the age-old concept of this ATS or something like that. Since I have the knowledge, I made my resume very creative.
You think you can share with us or no? Like
at the end of the course, I'll share, because I keep on upgrading my skill set, right? So I have to keep on adding my skill set in the resume.
Okay. So like I was doing a playwright with TypeScript. I'm in US. But I feel like not many requirements are coming on Playwright with the TypeScript.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. About Playwright. Playwright is not a W3C tool. Since it is not a W3C recommended tool, most of the companies may or may not be hesitant to use Playwright. These many days, Playwright are using for some short lifestyle, short projects. If you want to make your project scalable, Selenium is the only thing, because it's proven. It's there for past 20 years, and the community support is huge. And you see a lot of developers like Simon Stewart and Krishnan Raghavan from TestNG, and there's one North Indian person who is contributing a lot on BDD Cucumber. I don't know, but I've met all these persons. They're spending half of their time from the regular job work and contributing on Selenium. Like this, we have thousands and thousands of developers contributing to Selenium, TestNG, Cucumber, and all these things. So it's very difficult to break Selenium. And amongst the Selenium, with Java is the most widely used programming language. And if you ask me the story of Selenium, Selenium with Ruby was the first language they used. After 3-4 years, then Selenium with Java kicked into picture. Same thing will happen with Playwright. Playwright, it's 3 years old. after 2-3 years, you see if Playwright is gaining such importance, then Java will start making a deal with Microsoft that, hey, you give me the latest updates, not your TypeScript. You give me the latest update. I'll integrate all your features. Got it?
Yeah, because like one project we did with TypeScript with Playwright, I think it was so wrong we could not deploy because it was not even designed in a
That is what I'm
proper way.
telling you. It's not that easy to work with.
And I was marketing with the Playwright. Like some company wanted move all the test cases from Selenium to Playwright. It's not even confident. Nobody knows Playwright. The interview is for the Playwright. Not even one question they're asking from the Playwright. Like it was so annoying, like they're asking something from
I understand.
Selenium. No, like they don't even know. Like hardly one or two company. I don't know. In India, maybe they are doing. In US, like I don't see any requirement coming in Playwright. And even though it comes, they don't even want to ask in Playwright questions.
Yeah, I understand.
I can recommend you some of the firms in US that are using Playwright, like hardcore Playwright.
Well, Siddhi, they're using hardcore Playwright. Again, they'll come back to Selenium. Just wait for a while because Selenium 5 is coming.
They are our clients and like they are the vendors. Sorry, we are the clients, and I don't know why they moved to Playwright and they are only working on Playwright.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
stopped supporting.
Yeah, they are the vendors who are working for past 1 year only. I'll tell you one thing. Selenium 5, once it hit the market, it will be like a game changer. Even Playwright will also stop because Selenium 5 is a game changer. We are waiting for the release of Selenium 5 at the end of 2025, early 2026. Once the Selenium 5 has come into picture, it will be like a game changer for automation testing.
Oh, that's why they are working.
Because the companies, US vendors that you're talking about, they are been using Playwright for last 1 year, and there are a lot of challenges with Playwright. I'm definitely going to tell you because it's a new tool. It's yet to be matured enough, and there are a lot of things that's happening. They are good for R&Ds. They're good for introductions, but not that scalable enough because it's not W3C recommended. If you ask me to execute any Playwright framework in your client proprietary machine, then definitely they'll be hesitant because as a tool, they also have their own recommendations.
What you said is scalable is the most thing because I don't think so. It will like help like lot of teams are working in that Playwright. It will do. It's something it's useful as I said, like a smaller project. I feel like, and if you do with TypeScript with the JavaScript is easy, but some people trying to do with Java, C#, it's not that good. Like it's keep breaking the application.
Yes, that discussion we'll have it later. Okay.
Rahul, I have one more question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just have a question regarding the fee structure. So, like, what is the fees for this course?
Yeah, I'll be giving you the number of Kumar Gupta, sir. You have a word with him. He's the right person to answer all your questions.
Okay. I think they posted there in that like for all the courses. So, are you in US? Like, are you already working in Java, Selenium, or?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Like, are you in US?
No, I'm in Canada.
Okay.
I'm in Toronto right now.
Guys, the time is up. We have extended the session by 23 minutes. And if you have any more doubts, we'll get it clarified. Any other discussions, you can have it off the line because we have extended our session by 23 minutes and it can be different for different people.
Yeah. And Rahul, can we reach out to you on the number you have given on WhatsApp for any other query?
You check the group description. There will be my number. There'll be like a section called as trainer number. You can drop a message to me on WhatsApp.
All right. All right.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll be using a banking application, Shrestha. Like if Shrestha is there, we'll be using a bit of a banking application. So you can do it, and we'll be using one sports-based application where the UI changes for every 30 seconds. So we'll also see those kind of applications. Great. So thank you all. If no doubts, then I'll close the session. Okay then, we'll see you around tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.
SQL developers, get ready to triple your salary.
Recruit